Hello and welcome. I'm Ryan Clark, the Oregon State Beavers Beat writer for the Oregonian, and you're listening to Beavers Beat. Oregon State football season continues to spiral. After a fourth quarter and overtime collapse against Houston on Friday, fan frustration reached a fever pitch over the weekend, with the Beavers sitting at 0-5. Fans and media have leveled intense criticism on Trent Bray, special teams coordinator Jamie Christian, and offensive coordinator Ryan Gunderson in recent weeks. For his part, Trent Bray said that he is ignoring the outside noise and is focused on getting his team back on track. Here is Bray's response to questions from Isaac Streeter of the Portland Tribune.
Since we spoke to you last on Friday, Coach, have you made any changes to the staff?
No.
Why not?
Everything I look at is benefit of the player. And to do something right now, in the week of trying to prepare, if it would benefit the players to do that and make them better, then I would absolutely do it. At this moment, that wouldn't be the case.
There's obviously been a lot of backlash on social media in recent days, and I know you guys take a very firm stance of that's all outside noise, but a lot of these people buy tickets to fill the stadium. What's kind of your message to those guys that maybe have lost faith?
Yeah, I mean, I understand from where we're at. I mean, we're 0-5, so totally understand it from that point. What people do and what their opinions, they're all valid and have those opinions. But it's just doesn't move me either way.
But here's the thing. Oregon State's special teams unit ranks 136th out of 136 teams in FBS, dead last in the country, according to Pro Football Focus. It's not just a few mistakes here and there. It's critical, game-changing moments on a near weekly basis. At what point, if you're Trent Bray, do you say enough is enough and send the message that this isn't acceptable? 3 of Oregon State's losses can be directly attributed to special teams issues. The 12-man penalty against Cal, which led to the opening touchdown before OSU fell behind 14-0 and was never able to recover. The 6 botched snaps against Fresno State, which Bray himself called a bleeping joke in a halftime interview. And now 2 blocked field goals against Houston, including the potential game winner at the end of regulation. Not to mention that Oregon State's starting kicker, Caleb Ojeda, got hurt against Houston after being forced to make a tackle along the sideline, and that was only because the Beavers' kick coverage broke down on that play. When I followed up with a question about Christian on Monday, Coach Bray doubled down in his defense of his coordinator, suggesting that he could last for the remainder of the season despite a cavalcade of errors in that phase. Returning to the staffing discussion, obviously, 3 out of your guys' 5 losses this season, special teams played a big role, as you obviously pointed out. And those issues were about execution, discipline, those sort of things. When you're discussing player benefit, what is your justification for having Coach Christian lead that group, given the level of mistakes that have been on display in these games?
Yeah, I think the number one is, there's a consistency that players need in coaching, especially when you're in season. It's also, if you make that move, who's that next guy is he on staff? All those things are part of factors to that. But and the ultimate thing is one, I believe that Coach Christian can do this job and finish the year for sure. And I think it's where we're at and what we can do. It's the best thing for those players at this time.
Oregon State now shifts its focus to Appalachian State, trying to pull off its first win of the season on its longest road trip by far. The Beavers will leave a day earlier than usual to make the journey all the way to Boone, North Carolina, which is a flight to Charlotte and quite a drive up there into the Appalachians. This is an App State team that is definitely the most manageable opponent that OSU has faced thus far, with an ESPN FBI rank in the 100s. This team relies heavily on its run game, and the Mountaineers just got waxed by Boise State on the road, sitting at 2-2 on the season, with their other loss being to Southern Mississippi. One of those wins for App State was just a 1-touchdown victory over FCS Lindenwood, a team that only just joined FCS a couple of years ago after a provisional period. If the Beavers play a solid game, regardless of the injury status of starting quarterback Malik Murphy, who Trent Bray said is dealing with a hand issue and didn't practice on Sunday or Monday, this is Oregon State's best shot yet to get in the win column. So they're hoping for that. Despite the distance, they're going to be able to pull one out at App State. I'll be on vacation this week as my wife and I celebrate our first anniversary, but Beaver fans can look forward to the return of Nick Daschel in the press box. The former beat writer turned editor will be on site in Boone with full coverage of that game for the Oregonian, so keep an eye out on his socials for more there. And for all of our coverage from North Carolina on Saturday night, visit OregonLive.com/Beavers. We've got plenty of preview content coming this week as well. You can follow me on X and on Blue Sky at Ryan T. Clark, and be sure to submit your questions for the weekly Oregon State mailbag either on social media or via email, rclark@oregonian.com. Thanks for joining us.